Good afternoon, YouTube. I wanted to do a video about free will because I keep hearing from various types of religious people, but mostly, biblical, of course, the concept that free will is something that God needed to adhere to, and that there were certain conditions in which he needed to operate under to make free will possible. I've mentioned this before in a few various places. One of my most recent is Yahweh created sin. Is if you believe that your God's the only creator, what you have to recognize is that there was no necessity for anything. There were no conditions under which God needed to operate unless he put them there in the first place, in which case that means that he didn't need to operate under those conditions. So what I'm trying to express in this video is that what you guys consider free will is twofold, two different things, not what you think it is. The first one is that the free will that you think you have was really only necessitated by your God's decision to necessitate it. Does that make sense? Let me try to put that another way in case that didn't make sense for some of you. If there was nothing ever created before your God created it, okay, and you guys try to say that in order for you to have free will, God necessarily had to put in, a condition, or he had to create sin in order so that you could be rebellious and choose not to rebel, is the basic premise that you guys present. He didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. Then the argument comes in, well, we wouldn't know joy without suffering, and as I've pointed out before, that's not true either. He, your God, created that to be the way that is, so he didn't have to do that either. The other part, and perhaps the larger issue, is that free will and being given an ultimatum are not really going hand in hand. I mean, you can argue that here's an ultimatum and you have the free will to choose which way to go, but that's not the kind of free will you guys are talking about. Free will, well, I take that back. That is the kind of free will you guys are talking about, but that's not really what free will is. Free will means that you have the will, the option, the choice to do whatever you want, and there are no consequences or rewards. See, that's how the kind of Christians think about it. Consequences are a negative thing. There are no rewards or admonishments, for one thing that you do versus the other, or anything that you do. That's what real free will is. No conditions. What your God has done is set up an ultimatum of do as I say or die, specifically to the point of believe in me or die. And that's an ultimatum. That is not free will. And you guys need to understand that as well. And the combination of the two things, of it really not being free will and being an ultimatum, as well as being an unnecessary condition of life, you have an unnecessary ultimatum. That makes your God suck. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. You guys have Stockholm Syndrome. And the problem is, you guys actually look at this God and you say, well, he's good and he saved us. No, he didn't. He is the one who put you in that position in the first place. And you call that free will to believe in him and go to heaven, or not believe in him or not be a Christian and whatever, and be tortured for eternity. That is not free will, and that's not the sign of a good God. That is the sign of a terrorist act. And the result from you guys is that you swear loyalty, love, and I don't even know, like this this baseless emotion of loyalty to this guy who has put you in this position, and You even voice it. You say you are supposed to fear God and love Him. Look up Stockholm Syndrome. That's exactly what you guys are describing, are the mental aberrations of a good relationship coalesced into some weird twisted thought that it's a benevolent, good, loving relationship. I can't even fathom that. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. I mean, I understand what you guys are going through, but I can't believe that you guys actually live with this your entire lives. You actually feel this twisted sense of devotion for a God who, per your own beliefs, is the guy who has threatened you with hell and all that kind of stuff. I mean, do you not understand? I'm going to tell you one more time. Stockholm Syndrome. That's what you guys display in your beliefs, in your words, and it's really sad. It's really sad. You feel that you need to swear fealty to a God who would treat you this way. I wish you guys, oh man, I wish you guys could understand how negative your relationship with your religion is. It's terrible. So, if you guys got questions about that, please feel free to ask them. Man, stop pretending that you need some supernatural answer to something that is right here. I mean, I guess I wish you guys could see that there are relationships available around you with real interactive people. You don't need to delude yourself into thinking that there is some arbitrary deity out there who is, putting a gun to your head and saying, love me or I'll pull the trigger, and saying that that's your free will, to love him or he's going to pull the trigger. Have a good night, guys.